Wow.
disciplinary. And I was given a final written warning for that. Yes.
Sometimes people label people. So let's say you come and one doesn't like you.
When they start talking of poverty, they always show videos of my country.
Oh my God. We short staff. We have to take how many patients? We have a lot to do. And in the middle of the shift, you want to cry. We still having. That's something I still experience.
When I was back home, I never had to teach my child to defend herself when she goes to school.
They don't even watch you anyways. You walk the streets, the men will not even turn around and look at you.
Because you are constantly walking on eggshells.
When we talk about these things, it's not being negative. It is a reality and it can happen to you.
If you are a man, if you see a fine-ass girl walking there, you can say, hi.
Yeah.
And so how can you eat using your hands? It's so disgusting.
Oh, man.
You understand? But London, don't.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, the channel where we keep things real. And today we are going to be talking about the reality of living here in the UK. And I am excited because I've got Tasha Lord, who's going to be shedding more light on how life has been for her in the UK. We are going to be talking about the downs of being here in the UK, because we always talk about the pros of being here in the UK. Today I'm going to be talking of the cons as well of being here in the UK. Tasha, thank you so much for coming to my channel today.
And it's my pleasure to be here, Pauline. I always watch your channel, and like I told you, I don't know if you guys have seen the video she did on my channel, but from the first video I saw of her, I was like, oh, I love this woman, and it's my pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much, Tasha. I'm happy to have you here today. Tasha is going to tell us briefly about herself.
Okay, so like she said, my name is Tasha Lord. I have been in the UK for 3 years. I am from the Caribbean, a small island called St. Lucia, and I am also a content creator, not really consistent, but every now and then I love to share information with people. And so I came today to speak to Pauline, and I really wanted to say this, Pauline, because I'm sure other people will say it in the comment section. I did an interview with Nanel, and there were so many comments about people saying how negative I am or how negative I'm speaking. But guys, when we talk about these things, it's not being negative. It is a reality and it can happen to you. We tell you so that you can take the measures to prevent it from happening to you, or to put things in place so you don't find yourself in the situation. It's not because I feel like I want to look for negative things to say no. Some people come and have good experiences, and some people come and have bad experiences, but we want to share information so that you can have an overall good experience. Yes, I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, and in this channel we always say we keep things real, and sometimes the reality is not, sometimes the truth is painful. We always say that. But from my part, the first downside that I've seen about coming to UK is a great place for starters. When you're here, you are able to put food on the table, you're able to pay your rent, drive nice cars, you've got a good job, good salary and everything. But life in the UK has got an impact on your social life. I look at my children and I feel pity for them at times, because back at home, they used to go and play in the street, They used to have friends. Right now, all I see when I'm looking at my kids, she's always watching TV. The other one is always on his phone because he doesn't have friends. And it affects them psychologically, because a human being is a social being. A human being is supposed to be interacting with other people. Even on my part, when I was back home, I used to visit my family literally every day, and we used to go places with my family and all that. And as the time goes on in UK, I'm getting more lonely. I get lonely every day. I get bored. Sometimes I even go to the extent like I was in a WhatsApp group for fellow Zimbabweans and all that.
Yeah.
I'll deliberately poke at people so that I entertain myself. You understand? Because I'm that bored. So if I poke someone and they start fighting with me, then I'm entertained for the day. I'm excited. That's it. That's the boring part about UK. It's
Yeah.
social life. There's no social life. You
I
get lonely.
And yeah, that is really true. And just listening to you say it, I'm thinking the same thing. Like back home, you always had some place to go. You always had
Mm-hmm.
somebody to go with. So if I went shopping, I'm here with my friends or my sisters. So you take time and look through things. But now I just go get what I'm getting and go home because you don't have anybody to go with you. So it's just so boring to be there walking alone in the
Mm-hmm.
streets. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even when there's nice weather, you feel like you wish you had people to go someplace with. There
Yes.
are people there, but I don't know. It's just different. The culture is different. People are not as friendly. Like they're friendly as in polite. They'll be polite
Mhm.
with you, but not like they're your friend, like to go out and stuff like that. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
noticed. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like that. That's why most of the time you end up keeping to yourself. And
yeah,
sometimes when you keep to yourself, you get bored. You
yeah.
get bored. You can watch TV, you can say, let me walk, let me walk. But you get bored because a human being is a what? Is a social being.
Social
So
being.
you really, really get lonely and you really get depressed here in UK because at times if you don't have a family, at least when I'm with my family, I can talk to my kids and say, oh, go and do this, go and do that. But if you don't
Yeah,
have your kids, it's just you and the four corners of your home. You go to work, you come back to the empty house, go to work, come
yeah.
back to the empty house, and it gets so lonely. And another thing, when you're looking at kids, when they come here to UK and they go to schools, like my daughter's school, she's maybe one of the two blacks in the class. They become a subject
Oh,
of more
yeah,
like ridicule because
yep,
they are constantly being asked, why is your skin brown? Why is your hair like this? Can I
yep,
touch your hair? Can I touch your skin? Why is your skin like that? So it's for the kids. I think for the kids,
yeah.
it's really a boring life. It becomes a
And
boring life for the kids because who wants to be having their hair touched every day? When I was back home, I never had to teach my child to defend herself when she goes to school. To say when they
yeah,
say this about your hair, tell them that I'm beautiful, tell them that I'm like. But when you're here
yeah,
in the UK, you have to be constantly telling them to boost their confidence because
yep,
if you don't boost their confidence, they lose their confidence and
yeah.
they don't feel like going to school anymore because they're
That
a subject of ridicule, you
Yeah,
know?
it's really true. A lady at my church was saying that they were even making fun of her daughter's lunch, because some of us come from cultures where our food is different. They used to one type of food, and so the children having food that smells different from theirs. They made fun of the food. It was so horrible for the child. It was a whole drama. And this is a reality. Now, if you plan on raising children in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, Pauline, you really have to make your children resilient and strong, because
Yes.
they will get the bullying and they will get the harassing
Mm-hmm.
unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember one time my daughter came from school upset. Why are you upset? They were asking me why I am eating using my hands. I mean, in my country, it's normal to eat using your hands. And she was told, how
Oh,
can you eat using your hands? It's so disgusting.
oh man.
You understand? But in my culture, we cook satsa, we sit and we eat with our hands. How can you eat satsa using a fork and knife? So when they go to school, today it's one thing, the other day is the other. Today it's one thing, the
Yeah,
other. So you are constantly on your toes trying to, boost their confidence and all that because of that cultural difference. You see,
yeah.
to make matters worse in class, they've got this, I don't know, maybe it's only my daughter's class. When they start talking of poverty, they always show videos of my country.
Oh my god. Oh,
and all the kids, they start saying, Minnie, is that your country, Minnie? Are you not poor, Minnie? Are kids like that? Know how they show kids with flies and all that. So every time when they watch a video about, oh, we've donated to the poor people, they show people from my country.
no, I was going to the school. I was going to go to that school. Because no, 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 no.
So the people who start speaking in maybe they speak in Shona or they speak in Debele, our language, then they'll be asking her to interpret.
Oh my goodness. No,
You
no,
know,
no.
mostly for me, it's to do with the kids and the loneliness here in you. Even when it comes to dating life here in
Mm-hmm.
UK. If you come in as a single individual, you will
Hmm.
struggle to get
Yeah.
a partner. If you are a, you know, in our countries, if you are a man, if you see a fine ass girl walking there, you can say, "Hi,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
talk to you? Can I have your number? You know, can I take you
Yeah.
out?"
Yeah.
Here, if you do that, you'll be charged with harassment. If you report it to the police, you'll be charged with
They,
harassment.
they
You
don't
get
even
it?
watch you anyways. You walk the streets, the men will not even turn around and look at you.
No. And you'll be asking yourself, you know how it is sometimes. You need men to admire you, to feel good about yourself. You get
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can dress and look good and think I'm looking hot and I'm walking in the
Yes.
street and no one pays attention. You know, when I'm
Yeah.
walking, I want men to turn and look at me. Then I'm like, even if I'm not going to do anything about it, I feel
Exactly.
like, there's life in me. You
Yes.
understand? There is life in me. But if I walk in the street and no one looks at me, no one, because if they look at me, there's someone who was taken to the NMC because he undressed me with his eyes. Yeah, and he was struck off.
Ooh. Wow.
You see, how do you
Yeah.
undress someone with your eyes? You get it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I
So.
think it's just a different culture, and the like for me sometimes, or if I don't wear my ring, or sometimes even when I wear my ring, the most I will get is if I'm at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
like people will approach me, but still like black people, not like any white person would ever come to you and say, "Oh hey," like not that. I think because it's predominantly white people there, it's just a few black people every now and then. So you'd get like somebody will come and say, "Oh hi, how are you?" Whatever that kind of, and I'll just say I'm married. You know that, but I could
Mm-hmm.
count how many times in the 3 years, maybe 3 times in
Mm-hmm.
the 3 years. So if you come single, I do agree with you. You'll struggle to
Yeah,
get
and
somebody. Yeah.
unless you are interested, because most of the time I've noted, like when I used to go to the gym. Right now, I haven't been to the gym because you're holy, that's why I'm this super fat. When I used to go to the gym, they
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
only, of course, you do get people looking at you. Mostly, those who approach you be young boys. Like
Yes.
I'm like 37, but you get someone who's 22, 23,
Mm-hmm.
24, interested in you. If you don't get the
Yeah.
young, you get the very, very, very old with gray hair coming to you to say hi, my name is Ray, and you know so which means if you are my age, like if you are middle aged, because I'm middle aged, because sometimes the single ones are very young, and
Yeah.
sometimes the single ones are the widowed ones or whatever, or people who did not were not serious about life and they're now in their 50s. So
Yeah.
it's either you get a very, very young person or a very, very old person who's going to give you a headache because they failed to manage their lives. Now they're
Yeah.
desperate,
Yeah.
40, 50, they're now coming after you. So that's the boring part. And ish, you if you come single, you have a potential of being single for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
especially if you are very picky. You understand?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. If you have a long list of things. But
Yeah. Yeah.
something else I feel like is uh, something people don't expect. So for me, when I left and came to the UK, I felt like I was leaving an environment that was really bad. My work environment was really horrible. And I was
Mm-hmm.
coming here hoping that like everything was better.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is like sometimes you might be thinking of leaving your country to come to the UK because you think things will be much better, all the working conditions will be better. And let me tell you, nursing is nursing around the world. So the shortages, you will have shortages no matter where you go. The being overworked, you will have it no matter where you go. And that is something I had to learn when I got here and realized, wow, it's still the same thing. Some
Yeah.
things are better, like you get all the supplies you need most of the times, but
Mm-hmm.
we still have the times where we're short staff, we have to take how many patients, we have a lot to do, and in the middle of the shift you want to cry, we still have that's something I still experience. So
Mm-hmm.
if you thinking maybe you will come to the UK because you trying to escape and get a better, like you expect everything to be better at work, you will still have to come and work as hard. There are a lot of benefits, but you still have to work. Maybe not as hard as you used to, but don't think you will come, not do much, and then that's it.
Yeah. But when I came to UK, I think that is where I found life very difficult working in UK, because you are constantly working on eggshells. You know, my country,
Yeah.
even if you see there's no transport, there's no what, I would dedicate myself and walk all the way. I would walk 13 kilometers to work, leave my car behind, walk 13 kilometers to work, because there was no transport, there was no fuel, nothing. But I
Wow.
knew that even if I get to work there, my matron, Mr. Stole, will come to me and say, "Thank you for coming to work, my child."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, you feel motivated to go to work, even if you're going to walk to work. You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
necessary for me to walk to work, but I would walk and say, you know what, I'm going to save people's lives. At the time, I
Yeah.
was working at the school, but there was a strike. No one working in the pediatric unit. I'd say, you know what, I'm not going to go to the school. I'm going to go to the pediatric unit,
Yeah.
even if it means me walking. You know
Yeah.
that when you get there, you find someone waiting for you with open arms.
Open. Yeah.
Here in the UK, when you go to work, you are walking on eggshells.
Mm.
Where I used to work before I moved, because where I am right now, I am quite happy. I cannot complain. I'm a
Yeah.
peripatetic nurse. I go and work here today. I am gone. I come back after a month. That's it. I go and work 2-3 days. I am gone. I come back after 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't get involved in work politics.
Wow.
But where I used to work, when you leave work, you have to be calculating, okay, did I give all the drugs? Or did I sign
Yes.
everything? Or did I? You can't sleep
Yes.
peacefully.
Yes.
And when you see the phone call ringing, if you see
Yes.
it's work, then you start calculating again. You don't have peaceful sleep when you're here in UK. The next
Yeah.
thing, you are sent to NMC. You are sent for disciplinary and everything. I've been sent for disciplinary for things that I did not commit. You understand?
Oh.
A situation whereby I get to work and I find they gave me a handover. They say, oh, this bed was flat, so we removed an adapter. We put the bed on the adapter and all that. You understand? So afterwards, when I was checking the bed, I realized that, oh, they put the bed on the adapter, but they did not switch on. You know, some adapters have got these individual switches.
Yeah.
They did not switch on this individual switch, and the blade is flat. So I switch on the switch, and I verbally tell them in the morning, oh, you guys, you forgot to switch on the bed and so forth. But this is the course of action that I took and so forth. I was called for disciplinary for not documenting that. You understand?
Wow.
I went for disciplinary, and I was given a final written warning for that. Yes. Not first warning, not second warning, not third warning, a final written warning, because I did not document that I found the bed flat, yet they gave me handover that the bed was flat. You understand? So you are constantly walking on eggshells. You get it? So that's what I don't like.
Yeah, and one thing, that's true. Just listening to you say that, one thing, I remember the first time I heard about incidents. Like back home, we never had incidents. I've never heard of that before. Yes, things happen, but it wasn't like people doing incidents. So I came here and I was like, me coming to the UK, that's the first time I heard about incidents. Now, if you work here, I'm sure you've heard about incidents. So if somebody has made an error or you've picked up something, you have to write it up and say, okay, this nurse forgot to give whatever medication, and then talk about if it affected the patient or not, or all of that. And then it needs to be investigated and all of these things I'd never heard of before. And like you said, you do feel like you're walking on eggshells sometimes, because I think especially sometimes people label people. So let's say you come and one nurse doesn't like you, and then sometimes she might tell all of her friends, and then all of them don't like you either. So it's like they're waiting for you to do something, waiting for you to make a mistake for them to do an incident.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
That is what I hate the most. So where I am, I've got peace of mind, but where I used to work, you understand that things that you deem small in your country, like I did not even commit this crime, you understand?
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong which I feel like I did, but I had to be sent for disciplinary over such a small, over something that I thought, okay, but I just didn't document what is, to make matters worse, you gave me a verbal report which you did not document. I'm
Yeah,
giving you back a verbal report, but I'm in trouble because I didn't document, but
yeah,
you were not in trouble for not documenting. You get it? So
yeah,
that's when you discover that no, probably it's nothing to do with that incident,
yep.
nothing to do with that incident,
Yeah.
but to what? Fix you. You
Mhm.
get it? That's how
Yeah,
things. That's how I feel things. That's what I don't like the most about working in UK. Sometimes there's no objectivity, if you get what I'm saying.
yeah.
Especially in
And
in most care homes.
oh, in care homes. Yeah, and something else. I think you said initially that most of your issues is like with your children because like the salary is good, and I'm wondering, like, because I have made lots of videos just talking about where you live. I feel like where you live plays a big part with, because like for me, I haven't seen it. I haven't, like, the salary is okay, but depends on where you live. It's not going to do anything for you because today is
Yeah.
what, like the 8th of the month. Is it the 8th? And then
Mm.
all the money has gone
Where do
with
you
the
live?
wind.
Which part of
And,
UK?
huh?
Where do you live?
In England, 30 minutes out of London.
That's why.
So that's what. And the thing is, listen to this, Pauline. When you tell people try to avoid London, they
Mm.
have so many things to say. They think you just trying to you're trying to hold something, keep them away from something so big.
Mm.
But I'm
No,
telling you, and
London,
it's not
and
just
I've
me.
always said London is a no-go area because all your money will basically go to rent. I've done comparisons: London, Scotland, Wales,
Yeah,
Northern Ireland, and London. If I was to choose a place, London would be the last place I go to because I know that sometimes if I want to live in a three-bed house like the one
yeah.
that I'm living right now, I'd have to fork between 1,800 and 2,000 pounds per month. But where I am, I'm just forking out £650. You understand? You see, I
What?
wouldn't, I wouldn't
How
go
much? How much you pay?
£650 for a three bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see. So
No.
I wouldn't go to London because you only live for rent and utilities. You get
Yeah,
it? I wouldn't.
and for me, because that has been my experience, I would tell anybody, if you want to come to the UK because you want a better life for yourself, you want a bigger home, nice home, because everybody wants to work hard and come home in a nice home. You have space to move around. Why are you working so hard? And the houses in London as well are really small.
Yeah,
Unless you're willing to pay a lot of money, it's really like tight. It's like a bedroom, and they just split it. They put a kitchen here. That is the reality. That is the reality of it, because they're trying to make as much money as they can. So they build all these flats that are really small, and
yeah.
people fit in there. So if you're thinking of coming there because you think you will have a nice big house and be able to afford all of these things, then not in London. In order to do it in London, you would have to be working your normal shifts, working extra shifts, doing agency work, doing something on the side, doing illegal work. I don't know what you'd have to do, but you'd have to be able to afford it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true,
the
because
truth.
people say that they can, but I think the people who are in London and say that, they probably have other forms of income, because there's
Yeah.
no way with just the salary you'd be able to afford that.
No, 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 no. Even me, who's here in Northern Ireland, I know that you can't afford a good life in
Yeah.
London. You can't, because I made it a point that I compare all places. Like if I wasn't to come to Northern Ireland, probably I would have gone to Scotland because
Mm-hmm.
it's more or less like Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
But London is a no-go area for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the whole of England is
Yeah.
expensive. You understand? But London, don't.
Yeah.
Don't, So I think those are some of the things that we can really say are the downsides of being here in the UK. Do you have any other things that you can think of? Because I know there are many things, and if you go on and on, we can even spend 2 hours talking about the downside of things here in UK. But basically, those that we've covered so far are the main issues. Or what do you think?
Yeah. I think, and one last thing that's very important for me, I don't know for other people,
Mm-hmm.
one of the downsides is the weather.
Oh
It's
yes.
if you're used to very tropical or very sunny, all year round, you used to hot weather, you might become very depressed during the winter times because of how cold it is. And not just the winter. The thing is, like, only summer it's hot. Apart from that, the spring is cold, the autumn is cold, and the winter is cold.
Yeah.
So most of the year is cold. If you're somebody, you're a house person, you like to just be at home relaxing, it might not bother
Mm-hmm.
you. But if you like to
Mm-hmm.
go out after a while, it will bother you, because there's so many studies that have shown that people get very depressed during winter time. People actually commit
Yes.
suicide more during winter time as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, the weather is really, really depressing. I remember the first days, my parents were saying you're crazy because I wanted to pack and go back home. I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope because I had to walk to work, and it was snowing heavily. First time
Oh,
seeing snow, walking, and I'll get to work. Half my legs are wet, and I
well,
have to walk like
oh,
that. It was terrible. I really wanted to go back home. Yeah, but you just get used. No, you don't really get used, but you live with
you
it.
live with it, yeah.
Yeah, you live with it. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's basically it. And guys, if you haven't seen Tasha's YouTube channel, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. You go and see. You go and visit her channel. She's got exciting content, same content as mine. I used to watch her videos, and I used to be like, this accent, where is it from? But I mean, we all have different accents, but I had not come across an accent like yours. So I used to ask
Yeah.
myself, is she really black? Like me. Where does she come from? I didn't know you're from the Caribbean, because your accent is American there.
Well, we right in between North and South America, so.
Yeah, no, that's why. You see, so she's got exciting content. So I'm going to leave the link to her channel in my description box. You go to her channel, give her some support, subscribe, and all that, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of her videos. And thank you so much for watching. And Tasha, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I
You're
really appreciate it.
welcome.
Yeah,
And I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.